members and enshrinees of the hall itself in light of published reports regarding the voting results of the class of 2026. It goes on to say, if it is determined that any member violated the selection process bylaws, they understand action will be taken that could include the possibility that such selector would not remain a member of the committee moving forward. Now, Bill Belichick is not mentioned by name in this statement, but we all know what they are referring to, obviously. Tom Brady also weighed in on the snub.
I don't understand it. I mean, I was with them every day. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's really no coach that should ever be a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is completely ridiculous because people deserve it. And he's incredible. There's no coach I'd ever want to play for. I'd rather play for. If I'm picking one coach to go out there to win a Super Bowl, give me one season, I'm taking Bill Belichick. So that's enough said.
That is enough said. We've had a lot of time now to think about this and react to this. RC, haven't heard from you yet on it. What are your thoughts, especially?
We've been reacting to this for 2 or 3 days now, and everybody feels the same. Don Shula should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he was. Right? Tom Landry should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he was. Chuck Noll should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he was. Just like Bill Belichick. None of those 3 coaches, who are all phenomenal coaches, who are coaches that should be enshrined amongst the greatest, would think to themselves, I had a better career than Bill Belichick. And then you hear all the reasons why this possibly could have happened. People are talking about Deflategate or Spygate, whether he treated the media in the way that says he should be in. And I say bullcrap to all of that. Because the bottom line is, what did you do on the field? What did you do in between the lines? What did you do inside the building? What did you do in the most important moments? And everybody knows there was no one as good as Bill Belichick. There's no one that's left a legacy on the game the way Bill Belichick has. The reason that there are so many players from the New England Patriots teams that are in the Hall of Fame right now is because of Bill Belichick, whether it's Ty Law, Richard Seymour, Rodney Harrison should be. Obviously, Tom Brady is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. The walls of the Hall of Fame are now shallower and more hollow than they have ever been because Bill Belichick didn't get what he rightfully earned and deserved, which was being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, my question that I remain adamant about is, what a great opportunity for the Hall of Fame to make it right. And I know that this isn't the participation trophy thing people are throwing out there. There's a new voting process. It obviously is flawed. Why can't the Hall of Fame take a step back and be like, let's check what actually happened out here and make this right? There has not been one person that has come out that has made a justifiable reason for Coach Belichick to not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is obviously a big deal. Unless someone does, why can't the Hall of Fame take a step back and be like, you know what? We reevaluated. Everyone makes a lot of good points. The process is a flawed process. Let's make sure that we do this the right way. Because the right thing is to have him in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I understand that everyone's up in this uproar of like, no, you can't go back to vote. Why not? Why can't we just do the right thing? Why can't the Hall of Fame do the right thing and realize the egregious mistake that has happened? Unless those voters come out and justify their reason for not putting him in, then either take their vote away or rectify the situation. Just because it's never happened before doesn't mean it can't happen in the future. Because for everyone that sits there and says, well, personal bias impacted, of course it did. They're human beings. Trust me, when you vote for awards, bias will play its part, but bad blood should not. And at least by reports, to RC's point, bad blood has played its part in here. And then the other part is this: who's next? Like, who's next? Who's going to be the next person to suffer the consequence of you were mean to me in the locker room? Because here's the thing: if people are going to use the Spygate, Deflategate as part of this, Tom Brady was on those teams, Randy Moss was on those teams, Rob Gronkowski was on those teams, Mike Vrabel was on those teams. There's a couple of Teddy Bruschi was on those teams.
No, Ty Law was on those teams. Richard Seymour. There are people that are Hall of Famers right now who are on those teams. And the first thing I tweeted was, if that went into the reasons Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then Tom Brady shouldn't be either. And that would be outrageous if Tom Brady doesn't. Tom Brady's whole presentation should go like this: whoever's representing him in the New England Patriots or Tampa, whoever it is at the time, they should walk up and go, Tom Brady. Everybody in the room should say I. And the same thing should have happened for Bill Belichick.
Good point. S.A.?
Couple of things. Number one, we'll address both of you not wearing a tie another time, okay? Because we'll address that, especially you, Dan.
Oh, you had a black hoodie on.
And you know what I'm saying? I mean, we'll talk about that with RC. RC, I mean, you're supposed to be the black Zoolander, the male model. We'll talk about that later because that's not how you're looking this morning. Secondly,
I'm going to tell you this before you finish, when your hairline can look like mine, you don't need no tie, brother.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now. You know what? I'm glad RC brought that up. Do you understand how good I look? I'm 58. Oh. Call me when you that age. I'm 58, my brother. Keep that in mind, okay? So we'll do that another day. But you got me with the hairline thing because I'm trying to work that up. Here comes the man. Here I come. Here's the point, y'all. Here's the point. Let me say, that's right, Dan. I said it. I ain't ashamed to tell you. Let me get serious for a second with this whole Bill Belichick thing. We all know where I stand with this. This is egregious. I think this is one of the most egregious things that we've seen in sports. I'm embarrassed for the industry, for any scribe, for any reporter. Obviously, it's not just reporters that are on the selection committee, but when anybody that's in this industry, to me, that takes this position that he didn't belong to, as a first ballot Hall of Famer should be ashamed of themselves. Okay? I think the other thing that's important to point out is that the Hall of Fame itself should be embarrassed, and instead, what are they doing? They sending out threats to members of the selection committee of how your privileges may be taken away. It's no longer a privilege to be associated with the Hall of Fame. Have you paid attention, Hall of Fame folks? It's not a privilege to be associated with you today. It's an abject embarrassment. It is a disgrace, Dan, because what you've done is you've diluted the significance and the importance of your own institution by omitting the greatest coach in history. There is no excuse to do there's no excuse to have rules in place that would allow you to do what has been done to Bill Belichick, to ignore what he has done. We've heard of Lawrence Taylor. We've heard, Tom Brady won 2 championships as a defensive coordinator with Lawrence Taylor. He's won 6 championships with Tom Brady as his quarterback. We know what this man has done. We know what he's led. Now, to play the devil's advocate for only a second, because I don't believe it, but I want to articulate the argument being made against Bill Belichick. They're saying Spygate. He cheated. He got fined $500,000, which was the largest fine in history, for that's been accorded to a coach. That's what they're saying. They're talking about the $250,000 fine that the Patriots had to surrender along with a pick. They're talking about those things being associated with Bill Belichick. And then they bring up Pete Rose and gambling, or they bring up a Barry Bonds that has been, denied Hall of Fame entry and stuff like that. And they're like, what makes Bill Belichick so different? I'm like the 3 Super Bowls before Spygate and the 3 Super Bowls after. How about that as an argument? To me, when you have the kind of resume that he has had, it is just shameful to omit him from it. But here's where it's getting interesting. You've got people, I'm on my radio show yesterday, I had a couple of guests and I had callers calling in. You've got some people that are saying Tom Brady is next. And they're bringing up Spygate and they're bringing up Deflategate. And I'm saying, you're going to sit with a straight face and think, I'm telling you right now, they might as well burn the building down if Tom Brady is denied entry as a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'd like to see somebody show up with a straight face, okay, on camera that has a vote, or anybody associated with the Hall of Fame to sit there with a straight face and try to justify Tom Brady not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. If that happens, along with Bill Belichick, why even have the Hall of Fame? Because the credibility of the institution will eviscerate before our very eyes, because we know that is just highway robbery. You don't do something like that. It was bad enough for what they did to T.O. It really, really was. It was bad enough.